Hi there, Shane Lucas here. I'm here with Peter and Brendan from Wood & Disney, and I just want to capture their story with AVN so far. They've been with us for a couple of years now, and it'd just be interesting just to capture their story so far.
Hi, my name is Peter Disney from Wood & Disney, firm of chartered accountants based in North Essex. Been in practice since, 1987, so quite a long time.
I'm Brendan Howlett, director of Wood & Disney. Peter, we've been together for the last 8 years. We've been on a very, very good journey so far. I went to the 3-day masterclass, lots of new ideas, came back very enthused and thought, yes, we really should do this. Spent some time, we went through it together, and again it ticked lots of boxes for both of us. It wasn't as though, I've got to convince you anymore. It was, if we're going to achieve some of the goals and aspirations that we have for Wood & Disney, we need to look at this and get the ball rolling.
I think we were working quite long hours. Profitability was fine. I think the issues we were facing there was definitely efficiencies. So we wanted to improve on those, and the problems as a small firm with a relatively established staff base, team base, was that we weren't necessarily getting ideas from other accountants. We felt we were working in a vacuum, and that joining AVN was giving us access to perhaps more modern ideas, better ideas, things that were working successfully in other businesses. Because as I said, we felt isolated almost, and I think a lot of firms of accountants do. They work very much by themselves, they don't tend to work jointly with other accountants, so you do end up almost growing in a vacuum. You don't really know what other people are doing. So I think joining AVN gave us that opportunity to talk to like-minded proactive accountants, but actually gain some real benefit in seeing what was working for them.
I think that the two initiatives we put in place at the start of that journey was firstly brought back ideas around pricing, and believing in much more in our own value and what we're worth. So we did a really big exercise around the whole pricing, and there was some steps of trepidation initially, weren't there? But we thought, no, let's be brave, and we were challenged by the team as well, which was really good, to say, no, we're worth more than that, and it worked. Some of the clients we found perhaps didn't like it so much, but then with the benefit of hindsight, assessing at the time, we thought, well, maybe they're not a good fit for us anyway, if they're looking at every pound they spend. And the second part of that was, leading directly on, was who are we working with? So we did the grading exercise that was brought out on masterclass of A's to D's, Steve's phrase around the BMWs, the bitches, moaners and whiners, which we still use today. And it was, apart from anything else, quite cathartic, wasn't it? To get rid of a lot of those. And that helped with that burden of the slog of work. Why are we working these hours for these people when the enjoyment's gone?
But also the motivation for the team in actually coming to us and saying, this person's a D, we need to get rid of them, and us answering by saying, yes, absolutely, let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
And that lifted them and gave such a positive vibe as well for them, because otherwise they're the ones having to quite often look after these bitches, moaners and whiners, and it's stressing them out as well. So I think going through that process of grading the clients and waving goodbye to the Ds was a really important step for us. I'd say there's been a big impact on the team. I think they are looking and using the resources that you give us. I think they can see so much more than just the head in a book type approach, or shut in a dustbin in a darkened room with a dustbin liner full of invoices. They could see there's so much more to what their skills and resources and the things they can do for clients and how they can improve clients' lives. So they are seeing that benefit tangibly, that they can see the changes that they are making to clients. I think that's massively motivational. So I think that's an incredible improvement.
And I think as well, we accepted back in 2016 the whole concept around making tax digital. It gave us the stick to beat our clients with, to get into the cloud. We were already trying that. So we'd accepted, we'll get them in the cloud, let's automate. The machines are going to do a lot of that compliance work. We know that. We want to do advisory, and that's where it stopped. How are we going to do that? Becoming members of AVN helped us put a much more formal framework around that and convince the guys out there that, yeah, we're going to stop doing so much of that. We accept that. We want to be doing the non-compliance work, and it gave us some tools to do that. So that was really, really good.
But I think it's also that mindset change, isn't it? As well as having the tools, it's that encouragement from AVN team that we can do this and you can do so much more, and not just, well, here's a tool, get on with it. It's very much showing us that we can achieve these things by using these tools. I think that's really key for the team as well. But it's also, I think the whole process has to include all of the team. There has to be a big buy-in from all of the team. If it was just Brendan and myself, then they wouldn't see the benefits, they wouldn't be supporting us in the way they're supporting us, and we would end up working in that silo with them just trundling along. So I think it's so important to involve the team, to bring them on board, to bring them to the masterclasses, to bring them to the other workshops that you run, to have them motivated by members of your team on the regular phone calls. All these things are just a part of bringing all of this together to give us the ability to produce and to advise in the future. It's not just one thing, it's not just a resource, it's not just a toolkit, it's all of this stuff all together. I mean, it's so important.
Yeah, that just picking up on that piece there about the regular calls, special mention for Emma as our PGE holding us to account, because we gave David and Becca, make sure you nag us, but for whatever reason that didn't always work well. But Emma, perhaps being outside of Wood and Disney, made sure that we damn well did deliver on the goals that she set us. So that's holding us to account was, I think, valuable as well.
Yeah. What about the workshops that you've been attending then? I know you've obviously been going through the AVN roadmaps as far as gearing so far. What kind of value do you get from attending those? I know sometimes you've attended them independently and you've brought team members along with you as well.
That worked well for me in that it gave me a chance to refocus. Where am I? What is this bit specifically telling me about where Wood and Disney are? What do I need to go back and refresh Peter's focus on, or both of our focus on, and also give updates to the team. So for me, it's like exactly that, a roadmap. Where are we? Let's make sure we're still on course. And you know, it was. I think as well, what we sometimes forget, we beat ourselves up because we want to get here, but we forget what we've done to get to the point where we're at today. So it was not self-congratulating, but it's stop and think how much we have actually done already. We've been given these ideas and goals to aim for, and we've done an awful lot.
Yeah. So I mean, I think as well that brings us on to, if you wanted to ask us about the AVN Excellence, because that's all part of the whole process. So we've been looking at your spreadsheet and the targets and all the various things you need to achieve, and 2 years down the line, looking through the AVN Excellence listings, actually there's an awful lot we've already achieved, and that we can quite happily pat ourselves on the back and say, wow, we've actually done an awful lot of this. We're not fully there yet, but we've done an awful lot and achieved an awful lot in that short space of time. So I think that as well as the incentive to say, well, let's give you that recognition of having achieved all of these things. I think the AVN Excellence model is excellent.
And how have you found going through that process, from maybe the first time you saw the AVN Excellence criteria? How close would you say you were to achieving that when you first looked at that?
I think when we first, so we only really looked at it, when was it, the beginning of this year?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think we picked it up and had a look at it at the beginning of this year, and I think the impression we got was, oh yeah, we can tick that one off, we can tick that one off, but there was, you know, a number of gaps where we felt we could improve. I think as well that there were some of the questions in there we had achieved part of the way, but we weren't fully on the way. So it gave us that incentive to get that tick in the box and move on, to say, we've dealt with that one, let's look at the next one, let's look at the next one. So I think looking at the AVN Excellent model is a really good way of pushing yourself to say, I've got this far so far, I still need a few more to tick off the list. So that's been quite a good incentive for us to actually focus on that. So we're really keen to crack on and do that.
Excellent. If you could name sort of your top 3 best results that you've seen maybe over the last couple of years, what would they be?
I think we've got to say that the percentage of compliance and non-compliance, that change has been quite dramatic.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you know, you go back a couple of years and we might have said 95, 96% was compliance work.
Right.
A huge percentage, and I think that's fairly common with most accountancy practices. And I think at the moment, what's the numbers running at? Is it 60?
About 65 compliance.
65 compliance.
35 non-compliant.
So that's a dramatic change.
Yeah.
But as I said, part of that is the mindset as well, of saying this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and talking to our clients about what more we can do for them. And of course, the fact that it's not just us selling those services to the team. The team are really good at finding extra work now, aren't they? I mean, they're just amazing how they're just picking up this extra work because they're talking to the clients and going, you need to do this, we need to do this, there's this opportunity and we can help you with this. And that's fantastic, isn't it? I think. And of course, the aim is to significantly increase that advisory percentage. So for us to have achieved what we've done so far in what is relatively short space of time, I think is amazing. Yeah. So, and certainly within the next couple of years, I think we ought to aim for that to being 50-50.
One other area there which has been a real success is, with all these ideas, goals, and getting the team engaged, is we've been able to develop, well, I say we, probably they have been able to develop some real systems out there that work, and it's not just people going off rogue now. We've got a system to follow, we're evolving that, we're introducing new systems all the time, and that was part, again, going back to masterclass, saw the Michael Gerber video, we watched that, Peter already knew about it, oh yes, the team love it, and it works for us. We've got so many systems now in place, whereas before we were a bit scattergun. We'd got things, we were doing the work, we were servicing the clients, but it was a bit disorganised, to be fair, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
And the team not only bought into the systems messages, they're creating the systems.
They're creating them, yeah.
Absolutely.
They won't let us do something.
No. And it's better that they're doing it, because
Yes,
they know exactly
they're doing
what
the work.
They're doing the work. So, and we've done a couple of tests. So, for example, last summer, my youngest son, 16, I think at the time, came in and knowing nothing about one particular process, Christina in the team gave him the process to follow, and he followed it to the letter and achieved the result just by following the system. I think she made one tweak afterwards. She said she changed it, but you know, he came in with no previous knowledge whatsoever and just followed the system, and it worked. And it was her system. She designed it and wrote the whole thing, didn't she? I think. Yeah. Which was fantastic. So a real feather in her cap as well.
Yeah.
That she's achieved
absolutely.
that. So yeah, I think it's a great thing for them to be stepping up to that and doing those things.
Okay, from a client's perspective, we're changing their lives in that we're helping them to focus on their own business, what they want out of it, what their goals are. So whether that's perhaps freeing up more of their time, paying off their mortgage earlier, making more profits in their business, it's helping giving them that focus. Okay, so how can Wood and Disney help them achieve that? And then we've taken that beyond the client to, we want to give something back at Wood and Disney to people less fortunate than ourselves. So we've signed up some time ago to the B1G1 project, which again really engaged our team outside. All of them love that. They helped choose some of the projects where our donations go, and they also talk to clients when they come to our office, take them through the
global goals.
The global goals. Again, and if clients got a particular geographical area, project, or if they like animals, whatever it might be, they can choose that, knowing that their meeting with us or the project that we've done for them is giving something back there. So that, I think, has really set us apart, hasn't it?
In fact, we picked up one client last year who came to us specifically because she loved the whole concept of the B1G1 and thought that set us apart and wanted to use us. And also just recently we've had another client who signed up to B1G1 themselves to operate it within their own firm, within their own organisation. So that was really nice as well to see them do that. So I think that's quite a key thing. I think we should, we may moan about our society and our economy and all the rest of it. But in truth, there's so many people so much worse off than us. We should be doing something. So this is a great opportunity, as far as I'm concerned, for us to be supporting those far less fortunate.
Yeah, well, Wooden Disney is a practice for good, a business for good. One, you mentioned earlier that you were working longer hours than you wanted to. What's the situation now?
Oh, we're still working too long. But I guess we're working on things which are perhaps a little bit more interesting, rather than the bog standard, we've got to get this set of accounts out, this tax return out. We're working on our systems, we're working on projects, we're working on perhaps non-accountancy stuff, developing systems, developing processes, helping the team. So there's still, and marketing, business development. So there's lots of other things we're doing, but it's not the grunt work that we used to do, I guess. Yeah. So that's a positive, because to be honest, it's fun. So we're doing the fun bits as opposed to the slog, I guess is
and that makes those extra hours effortless, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think you're right. It's enabled us to, to coin that phrase of working on the business rather than in the business. It's definitely freed up some time for us to do that. And like you say, it's not a chore. That bit's where it'd always been on the agenda, but it just kept slipping down. So now it's firmly at the top of the agenda still, but we're getting to it and being able to tick things off that list, which as accountants we like to do.
Would you, and if so, why would you recommend AVN to other accountants?
I would say it's guys, you need to have, there's big changes in the profession, you need to have a mindset change, and AVN can help you with that mindset change.
Yeah, I think that answers your first question. Yes, definitely. Why would we do it? It's helped us focus on our own business and where we want to take it. It's helped us to achieve some of our goals, and we know where we're going. It's helped us to engage the team much more. So again, tick lots of boxes for us as a firm. And I'm sure there's other firms out there that are they've got this mass of clients that they want to work with, that they want to help, that they know they can, but perhaps they just need a structure around that and some tools which AVN can provide.